Tanya. Chicago-born rapper Lil Durk appeared before a federal judge in Florida this morning. He was arrested there Thursday in a murder-for-hire plot. Coming off his first Grammy win earlier this year, Chicago-bred rapper Lil Durk is now facing charges in connection to a murder-for-hire plot. The 32-year-old was born Durk Banks. U.S. Marshals took Banks into custody on Thursday in Broward County. Banks appeared in federal bond court this morning. Now, details about the rapper's arrest or charges have not been released. 5 members of Durk's Only the Family group, also known as OTF, were indicted by a California grand jury this week on charges of conspiracy to commit murder for hire. Banks' arrest comes just weeks after he was named in a lawsuit which alleges the rapper had a hand in a 2020 gang-related deadly shooting of a Chicago rapper, FBG Duck, born Carlton Weekly. Weekly was killed in the Gold Coast neighborhood by a group of masked men as he waited to enter a high-end store. 6 purported gang members were convicted of carrying out Weekly's murder. Weekly's mother spoke with ABC 7's Karen Jordan after filing the lawsuit.
Not a day goes by that I don't think about him and the life that was taken from him.
Now, Lil Durk and his team did not comment on that lawsuit. We'll be sure to update you when we learn more about the charges the rapper is now facing.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Why? Members get exclusive content. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you'll receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Let's get into it. Lil Durk arrested. We all know Lil Durk. Most of us do. For those who do not, he's a Chicago-based rapper, famous rapper, rich rapper from Chicago. And he was just arrested in a unalive for hire plot, along with 5 other people that was indicted for this unalive for hire. They were indicted for the actual unaliving. Lil Durk was indicted for being a mastermind or funding it. Now, the federal indictment reads as follows: that Lil Durk put together a squad of 5 or more people. Supposedly, there are more indictments to come. More indictments are imminent. Supposedly, he put together a plot in retaliation, in revenge for his close friend, King Von, also a famous Chicago-based rapper who was unalived on videotape some years back. We're going to get into that. Quando Rondo is associated closely, allegedly, with the person that was alleged to have unalived King Von. Lil Tim, I believe, is his name. So Lil Durk is very upset with Quando Rondo because he has close ties with the person who unalived his best friend or his friend, his comrade, his partner. They were real tight, Lil Durk and King Von. So the indictment reads that Lil Durk, being perturbed and upset at his friend King Von's unaliving, being upset with Quando Rondo, who is also a rapper. Quando Rondo is a rapper based out of Savannah, Georgia. And again, supposedly, at least according to Lil Durk, the person who unalived King Von is Quando Rondo's comrade. It's his boy. He's under him, one of his underlings. So Lil Durk is pissed off that his best friend is gone. So he gathers up some troops, Lil Durk, according to the indictment, and says, y'all go get Quando Rondo. I want him eliminated in retaliation for King Von's unaliving. 5 people who were all just arrested and indicted, found out that Quando Rondo would be in Los Angeles. Quando Rondo was going to Los Angeles for some event. He was there with his sister and his cousin, Lil Pab or Lil Pa. Now, when Quando Rondo was going to Los Angeles, he has ties to a Crip gang out there in Los Angeles. And so he checked in. He tapped in with this Crip gang. This is common. This is prevalent. This is what happens when you oftentimes go to Los Angeles. You have to check in with these gangs in order to get some sort of protection. If you're some type of rapper or whatever, ain't really about that life, or even if you are about that life. So he tapped in with a Crip gang out there and let them know that he would be in town, Quando Rondo. Quando Rondo made it out to Los Angeles. Now, somehow, the 5 people who are hunting him, sent by allegedly Lil Durk, they found out his location, Quando Rondo. They found out that he would be in Los Angeles and on what day. Now, they're way out in Chicago. They booked flights and rented cars to fly out and drive out to Los Angeles to hunt down Quando Rondo. And that takes a lot. A lot of plotting and planning and, and being deliberate to catch a plane and drive from Chicago to Los Angeles looking for this person to gun him down. Now, they found out Quando Rondo's location, and they began to tell him in the white BMW. Quando Rondo was in some sort of black SUV, looks like an Escalade. And they were telling him, now Quando Rondo, he's probably not really from the streets like that. Because I don't know how he didn't have any idea that these dudes were behind him all of this time, telling him, you hit a few corners and if this person is still behind you, you know you're being followed. But for whatever reason, he just kept on driving. Probably in there, got his za going up in there, za, whatever. He's distracted. He's not paying attention to the fact that he's being followed. In the car with Quando Rondo is his cousin, Lil Pab. Again, they're now here in Los Angeles. They get to a gas station, and the BMW pulls up and unloads multiple rounds into the SUV. They unalive Lil Pop, Quando Rondo's cousin. They missed their target. They didn't even hit Quando Rondo, but they unalived the person that was in the car with him, which was his cousin. Quando Rondo was distraught, yelling, "No, no, no."
The streets and this chaotic scene, the ending of a shooting that started in Beverly Grove. Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV. This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight. It all started at this mobile gas station at 5:30 Friday evening.
The police are there trying to sort everything out. After the hit, the 5 individuals met up at a restaurant to discuss, according to the indictment, how the money would be divvied out. Who's going to get what, how much, and why. Also, according to the indictment, they have text messages from Lil Durk to someone in his crew, someone of these five individuals, saying, make sure my name or no name on these credit cards or these flight tickets and everything else that you guys are doing with these credit cards comes back to me, comes back to my name. They have text messages saying this, according to the indictment. Because according to the indictment, OTF, which stands for Only the Family, this is the record label, this is the rap group of Lil Durk. And these are all OTF members, supposedly, that carried out the hit, or at least some of them, on what was supposed to be Quando Rondo, but ended up being his cousin. And these credit cards belong to OTF, the label, that they are funding this excursion with, this killing excursion. Somehow Lil Durk gets caught up in the text messages saying, make sure it doesn't come back to me. And they got a hold of it. This is all in the indictment. After they talked in a restaurant, the 5 individuals, they all traveled back to Chicago. Divvied up the money. Job is done. And really, the police had no leads. They had no suspects. People in the streets were talking, thinking that perhaps Lil Durk was behind it because of King Von. But the police themselves, the investigators, the detectives, they had not arrested anyone. They had no leads. I'm sure they heard the chatter in the street, but they had nothing concrete, obviously, to arrest anyone. And then a few months after the incident, an OTF member by the name of Jam, OTF Jam, was arrested on unrelated charges, something else. And while in custody, he told the police that perhaps he can help them out if they can help him get out of the jam, no pun intended. And so he began to talk about this plot to unalive Quando Rondo in retaliation for King Von's unaliving. But instead, as he went on to explain, according to the indictment, they got the cousin in the car instead of Quando Rondo. But he spilled all the beans, according to reports, and let them know that Lil Durk had hired them, had provided the credit cards, had found everything out, had plotted everything and paid for everything, funded by OTF and Lil Durk. And so Lil Durk was just arrested last night, sometime yesterday, for this incident. Now, supposedly Lil Durk knew that this was coming. Supposedly he thought that the police were going to arrest him at his own birthday party not long ago, while they all were there posted up, because he had already gotten word that OTF Jam had talked when he was arrested for something else. He had suspicion, got word, whatever, that this dude was talking. So he thought that an indictment or an arrest perhaps was nigh. He didn't run or whatever. They arrested him, I believe, in Florida yesterday. So we'll see. Lil Durk arrested, not yet indicted, but it could be an indictment coming and a RICO act. And him going to trial, fighting for his life, possibly even the death penalty. Yeah, they get the death penalty for this sort of stuff, for the hire. They get you more than they get the people who did the unaliving. Because you conspired, you set it all up. You're responsible as far as they are concerned. We'll see what happens. As we can see, a lot of these rappers, it seems, are going down. A lot of it is from their own doing. YSL, they all on trial for unalivings and racketeering and the RICO Act, Lil Woody and all this. Yo Gotti, possibly something coming down on him, because these dudes that was arrested for Young Dolph's unaliving are saying that Big Jook, Yo Gotti's brother, supposed to give him $500,000 or whatever, $50,000, whatever it was, for the unaliving, and they ended up with $500. But all these record labels they're under attack. I'm not saying it's some sort of conspiracy against them. It looks like a lot of them are bringing this on themselves. Lil Durk was doing interviews saying that it's funny now that Quando Rondo was quiet. He was making fun of Quando Rondo's cousin being unalive. When Quando Rondo's cousin was unalive, there's footage of Quando Rondo grieving, having seen his cousin brutally unalive Unalive right in front of him, and probably knowing that this was meant for him, there's footage of him yelling, "No, no," while the police are right there. No. Lil Durk took that, Quando Rondo yelling no, and sampled it in one of his songs, making fun and making a mockery of him grieving over his cousin being brutally alive. So some of this stuff Lil Durk was bringing attention to himself with the authorities, letting them know, as far as they are concerned, that he was indeed, if not involved, certainly happy for what happened to Quando Rondo's cousin, causing them to investigate further. That's the latest, and we'll see what happened. Lil Durk arrested last night, breaking news, for a unaliving for hire plot to unalive rapper Quando Rondo. Didn't get their man, got the wrong man, got the person that was in the vehicle with him, which happened to be his cousin. But he was unalived. 5 people were indicted for that yesterday, related to OTF, the record label of Lil Durk. And Lil Durk arrested for the unaliving for hire, along with the 5 people that, according to the indictment and authorities, he put up and paid to carry out the hit. We'll see what happens. Are they going to drop the charges? Will he get a hell of a lawyer and get out of this? Is he going to trial? Will he get life? Will he get the D penalty? What's going on with Lil Durk and OTF and all these other rap labels? We're going to follow it and see what happens as more information comes out. I guess I'll have to get into what happened with King Von and how he came up unalived and why, to go back to the roots of all of this right here. It all relates back to King Von's situation. So I'm going to have to get into that in order to break it all down so that everyone can follow. And I'll do that. And in the meantime, stay free, people.